Thanks for watching Mid-Morning this Monday. Did you get a good night's sleep last night?
The American Academy of Sleep Medicine says 54% of Americans think they just don't get enough sleep. Many go through the day in a fog.
They probably don't get enough sleep because you really need 7 hours. And the people that say that they don't need 7 hours, all the sleep doctors will tell you they actually really do.
You do need 7 hours?
Yeah, and in fact, they will do tests on people to see how quickly their response times are, and even if you don't realize it, when you don't get that sleep, your response times are lower, which can have an impact, like, out on the road.
Yeah, so hey, think about if you're driving on the road and you're sleep deprived, and all of a sudden you think you're reacting in a normal way, but actually you're actually a split second behind because you're sleep deprived. I get that 100%.
I just want to point out that before we came out of video, most of us here chuckled about getting enough sleep. I think it's the ongoing challenge of the shift that we're on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's actually an ongoing challenge for people who really work any shift.
Any shift,
I
right?
mean, you talk with people and they say, I just don't get enough sleep. I don't think that we do a great job as a society of prioritizing sleep.
Well, you think about everything that people have going on in their lives, think about work, right? That can be a challenge in itself. If you have a family, that can be a challenge in itself. If you have a family that has different activities that you've got to do, we've talked about this before. If you've got to get, X kid here, you've got to get X kid here, you've got to get X kid to this practice that starts at 9 o'clock. All of a sudden that it all affects your sleep. And you still have to eat food at some point too.
your mind is racing, or you're dwelling in your Sunday scaries.
Yeah,
yes, right.
And it's not the same to get to bed, because there's times where I get to bed with enough time, but I don't actually get the sleep. You know, I might sit in bed for an hour and a half, and that's useless.
So you're like, I'm here, I'm ready to go to sleep, looking at the ceiling, but it's
you
not
need the actual sleep.
Yeah. They say about half of people say lack of sleep or less sleep than they need can hamper your work productivity. About a third say it can hamper the quality of work that you do. Another third say it can hamper your memory. And I certainly have seen that, especially like your short-term memory, sort of like, did I remember to do this? Where, all kinds of things.
It makes keeping all those notes come in handy.
Yeah.
I know
It does, though.
I keep a lot of notes. Like, remember to do this, this,
things that you think, okay, maybe I'll read. How could I not remember? I could not remember where I put that.
Boom.
Sure, good luck. Out of sight, out of mind, it's gone.
No way.
As someone who struggles with this very much so, I found that it's actually hard to get more sleep. You actually have to program yourself to try to get more sleep. It's not one of those things where, like, for example, if you get 5 hours sleep one night, okay, if you've been getting 5 hours sleep for a long time, you can't just say, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep one night. It doesn't work that way. You have to. It has to half-hour increments. That seems to at least work for me.
You have to be careful too, because it can affect your relationships. Like, I always have to make sure that, like, I'm not extra, saucy with my kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Saucy, that's a good way to put it.
And like, it's something that you sort of consciously have to think about.
Right.
I'll take like 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
10 hours?
Yeah, I can go over that 7 hump. I'll take 10.
That sounds great.
Great.